Where are we at? Where are we at? Good morning. Setting up a little bit here, just getting around. Sorry I missed yesterday. There was a pop above the 0.13 levels. So I ended up getting my majority of my open CRO trade, hitting the stop losses. So I am still in a short trade because my overall thesis remains the same. But as of right now, I'm looking at buying, in more and pushing my. I bought in around 0.1315, which was pretty close to the top for what it's worth, about halfway. So I felt like that was a decent place to start, accumulating on the short side again. So I do have now about 25% of my position open at a higher average price for the short. And we are continuing to see that the market is pulling back a bit today. And just taking a quick look, this is the first time I've checked the market for the day. I wasn't watching it very closely. I got pretty busy yesterday on some other activities. We do see some strong vector candles coming into the downside. We've recovered most of that. The top side vector also pushed really hard right here. Look at this. There's massive, relatively speaking, massive volume on CRO just in the past 45 minutes to an hour. And of course, the odd thing about it is always when the candle is very small, it generally implies that there's a heavy selling pressure, which of course, it's no surprise then that whenever I just, right before I hit record, I put together a few of these GAN fans, let's say, to see where we're at, to try to get an idea. So this would be, something in the evening about the US is approximately US. If we could maybe even go out to US close and readjust it slightly, it still fits pretty good. So, we can see that the US market, could be aiming, if we call this fan, the accumulation fan on the US side, perhaps there's market pressure in that space. There's an interesting pattern formed here now that I see it. When we look at the the accumulation fan here, and then if we take a similar view on approximately the end of the US market for today, we can see a distribution fan, which would be on the upside. So every time we hit this, we're selling. Every time we hit this, we're buying. Every time and then actually here is the one interesting spot where we're selling essentially once we between these lines. So it's not exactly clear still how to read this, but this is the overall structure that I'm seeing. There's clearly pressure in this direction still towards the downside. DXY is, interestingly enough, down today. Again, there's this divergence. The market is absolutely mixed. When DXY is down and the market is down, that's usually a sign of, volatility in the making, because either DXY is going to revert and head back up because the market's going to be going down, or the opposite. DXY is going to go is going to continue down, and Bitcoin is going to get released, and other assets will get released, and we're going to have a very nice upward, day for the longs out there. I am still shorting, and let me think about it for a second. Something around the 311 level, I probably buy in a little bit more, and then if we start getting over the daily open 316, I'll go ahead and stop loss out. This would be likely that we're going to be pushing back into the 1338, this higher pressure zone up here, where we do tend to be seeing a bit more resistance. Here, this is the bottom of it. This actually made it through, but it didn't last very long. So we can assume that if we do end up making it into this zone, either this is going to be a pop zone or this will be a reject zone. So if we can get through some of these other lines, including the daily open for what it's worth, then I will look at reversing stopping out and reversing some of my trade. However, we are exiting a diamond shape on the CRO chart right now. So diamonds can go either direction. It's really, again, there's just no clear indication on which way we're going right now. The signals are very much mixed. We do have high volume though on the CRO front. Anyways, on this exchange, this is Kraken, I believe. Doesn't matter. It's generally going to be similar across the board. So let's see what Bitcoin's up to, or let's see CRO from a different angle. Yeah, we can see where some of the previous days projections were, and yeah, the pressure's still pretty high down here. There's still a lot of support in this area on the bottom, but we are regaining that, so we can move this out. Can move this out as well to about the start of today's U.S. session. Still lines up. Let's go ahead. Yeah. I mean, this is the lower end of it. So about the start of today's session, these haven't moved much. The distributions are still pretty static. So we're still, from what I can see, we're still looking at pretty high resistance between 0.13 and 0.1325 and 0.1335. So yeah, again, if we do get through that, if we even get up into this space, we're pushing into reverse, kind of bullish territory. So my suspicion, though, is that we are already closer into the resistance in these levels where we're at right now. This is also going to be pretty strong resistance, and so if this gets resisted, this is turned into support, then of course, we might be making our way up. But if this fails, then expect to pull back into the 12.5 areas. That's my prediction for the moment. So we need to, if we can get through with volume on the 0.13, which is about where we're at, then it feels likely that we're going to go further, and the DXY will reverse. But we'll see how it actually goes. We can switch over to Bitcoin for a second and see if there's any confluence there. Let's go Bitcoin. So we are okay. Bitcoin, interesting, right? Okay, this is an old back from the start of the week. So it's not old, but it's 15-minute chart. So this is kind of, if we were to be projecting forward for the week, how we might run how we might see how it plays out. This is still holding up pretty good, and not surprisingly, we are seeing resistance along this lower end of the. This is the 8-1. This is a pretty deep into the bottom of the fan. So is it a surprise that we're seeing all this resistance here, and we see this quick drop and quick movements in between? Not really. These are tighter up here. So it's really fascinating, right, how this stuff lines up. We do have what looks like resistance. We've turned support into resistance. So let's keep watching. The yesterday's low, is still below us. The previous day's lows were even further down. The highs. So anybody in this zone is in pain right now, holding their longs, thinking, in some of these vector chart or vector candles, where we got a lot of smaller trades, which indicates kind of more the retail market getting into the game, a lot of market buys, and then we generally see a lot of that stuff reclaimed in large, fast moves to the downside. So these are retailers who often or larger or I'm not 100% sure who it is, but it's faster trades and more volume in shorter time periods than average. We have what do we see? Well, we continue to have pretty deep drops and then slow returns. Again, a deep drop, a slow return. We're moving sideways, but again, we are underneath right now. Currently, what looks like to be the new kind of resistance line, which is about 21,500. Let's say EU Brinks, EU market is open for another few hours, and they appear to have brought us up into this range, and then perhaps they're going to be trading us back down to these lower levels. We will see. If they do, of course, I'm going to be continuing to short CRO on the way down. I have additional shorts, limit shorts put in around 0.13, which is actually, as we see, it's right now. So mine are being triggered as we speak. And again, I'm hoping around the 0.1250 to start exiting some of those and then reclaim when we start moving back up to retest some of the higher levels. We're way under all the standard moving averages. We've been rejected multiple times here. We're getting in the tighter ones, the 8 and the 20. So it's looking, again, it's kind of looking bearish to start anyways today. DXY, though, is divergent. There's a divergence on DXY. What was interesting, too, is that MSTR started up really high, and actually I see has left some new gaps in the trades, in the trading day. Let's see, did we leave anything else? No, that's not a gap. We didn't leave any gaps. These gaps got filled. This gap got filled. Okay, there's a tiny gap here. It also looks, but these are, the tiny ones tend to get filled pretty quick. So we might expect given that Bitcoin is down today, we might expect, to open under here and maybe then reverse out of it. We really need to watch volume, but look, volume really picked up yesterday at the end of the day. So all of this is now going to be, and you can see these reverse, these blue vector candles, which are indicating a probability that there's going to be stoppage. It's a stop candles. These are the ones where you're likely to then see an opposite. This is stop, turn down, right? This was going down, stop, turn up, right? So let's just watch. My suspicion is that, we'll be starting low today. I did trade out of a larger portion of my MSTR because I do continue to feel we are bearish, unfortunately. And I was trading out around, in this range, actually. In this range between 70 and 74. I did not open up. I did not trade pre-market. So let's see, where do we go with this? Can we see anything interesting maybe coming into it? We're still we're aligned here. This isn't the most interesting, given that we have the day to day, the overnight market is closed. It's a bit more difficult to manage some of these GAN fans. I'm not sure how to work that either yet quite, but this is aligning pretty well with the fact that this is the stop, the resistance zone, and this is we're getting, when we get into these smaller fan ratios, the angles get tighter in here. We do tend to get a bit more volatility and tighter ranges. So we can see that pretty well. This actually lines up pretty decently with where we see the actual movements in the end, right? It's maybe I'm making this shit up. Hard to say, but I see it, and I'm figuring where do we go from here? How do we trade this stuff? That's my big question. Japanese yen is down. Is it yen? Yeah. Chinese yuan is down. Nasdaq. Well, those we'll see. Euro, interesting. So I've just only started watching the euro very recently, and some of the other currencies like Japanese yen and the Chinese yuan. Euro is up quite quite high against the dollar. So maybe there's a movement of dollar into euro for the time being, and that could explain why there's a divergence between the Bitcoin and the dollar, because usually again if dollar's going down, most other assets are going up. But as we see, generally speaking, the market is down, except for a few, interestingly enough, a few smaller. Sorry, no, actually, let me see. Yeah, Ada's. Those are stocks. I need to clean that up a little bit. Stocks I should put separate. XRP is up. Interesting. Maybe there's some good news. I didn't check. But anyways, that's MSTR and ETH. What's up with ETH? ETH has been just pretty much getting hammered over here for the time being. But let's see. Yeah, same story. Again, it's like we open in one direction, and then we make a pretty decent recovery towards the end of the session. That's the Asian session, only to come down, pretty low. Actually, I'm impressed. Like they sold out pretty heavy, which is Asia. Asia seems to be doing pretty much all the time these days. Anyone have an explanation for why that is? Why is Asia dumping the markets? Like, is that because of the Chinese bank runs? Is there some news that can indicate where these drops are coming from and why they're happening in Asia? And then of course EU has recovered some of that, but it does appear we're going to be maybe retracing for a W kind of thing today, or maybe even starting some sort of triangle here, some sort of bearish flag or something like this. But again, volume is increasing. You can see it pretty clearly. So short summary, CRO is definitely on my short list. I like shorting CRO at the moment for whatever reason. There's not that much volume, so the moves are pretty quick. So you got to be careful, and it's training me to really put in my stop losses and look at the correlations across all the market in general. Have a great day, and I wish you well. Please do let me know what trades you're in. If you see or disagree or like what I'm talking about here. If you're also using GAN fans, if you have some way to analyze it yourself, I'm looking up some of the old articles and books that the original author wrote, which he presented the GAN fan theory and this sort of thing. Which I don't feel like talking about right now because I'm still kind of in early stages. But curious what you know about it and share with me. I'd love to hear it, and we can maybe have a longer conversation on a Twitter like Twitter Space or just through chat or something like that if you'd like. Be happy to hear from you. Let's see. I'm not sure if there's anything else like really. What's let me see. What is anyone out there who's trading also learning to develop, doing some coding, programming? I am still looking for some folks who might be interested in coding along with me. Trading view scripts, that sort of thing would be great to code together. Or if you happen to know anything about the Python development in blockchain, would be fantastic as well. I'm thinking about starting a community in that space. And I did notice yesterday was a monumental day. We had no reports of rug pulls or Web3 hacks or smart contracts that just crashed and burned. Incredible, right? I love this. Web3 is great. Definitely like what you see there. Oh, looks like no, August 25th. Oh, yep, there we go. We got something, but it wasn't a new. The last report of something was August 24th. Go ahead and like that. Show your support. Love you guys. Peace out. Have a good one.